Okay, we're now live.
Good morning and welcome. This is the Government Operations and Healthcare Facilities Subcommittee of Health and Government Operations. This is today's work session where we will consider three bills. And welcome. This is the Government Operations and Healthcare Facilities Subcommittee of Health and Government Operations. This is today's work session where we will consider three bills. And
Delegate Gazzoni, do you have enough to share with everybody?
all right, I think we sorted that out.
Sorry, no. I'm almost done. 2 more bites.
Okay, just posted the bill order in the chat. So let's begin with House Bill 480, Senate Bill 286. Lindsay, will you remind us what these bills do?
So House Bill 480 and Senate Bill 286, first off, are not actually designated cross files. Senate Bill 286 did not have a cross file in the House, but there was a similar bill in the Senate, and I've forgotten what the bill number is on that one. But that was the cross file of House Bill 480. That bill was withdrawn, and the sponsor was amended on to the Senate Bill 286, and they amended the bill. House Bill 480 also has a sponsor amendment to bring that into conformity with what you're looking at as a third reader version of Senate Bill 286. So for simplicity's sake, we'll look at the Senate Bill 286 third reader and consider that for both bills. That makes sense for everybody. That said,
good.
Senate Bill 286 third reader version requires the Department of Veterans Affairs to bury the eligible spouse or eligible dependent of a veteran in a state veteran cemetery without charge. The department must also provide a grave liner at no cost for the veteran or eligible spouse or dependent. An eligible spouse or eligible dependent must meet requirements established under federal regulations regarding eligibility for burial in a national veteran cemetery. So there are no amendments for Senate Bill 286. Again, there would be conforming amendments for House Bill 480 to make it look like what I just described for Senate Bill 286. I circulated a letter from the administration because this bill has a high fiscal note in regards to the lack of money that the department would be bringing in and the need to make up that loss of funds to continue to maintain the cemetery. So the administration provided a letter that they are providing this funding in the budget and anticipate continuing to provide the necessary funding moving forward.
Thank you. Does anyone want to move the conforming amendments?
Move the amendments.
Second.
Second.
All right, any discussion on the amendments? Okay, on the amendments, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed to the amendments?
Move the bill as amended.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, any discussion on the bill as amended? Seeing no discussion. Delegate Johnson?
So this puts it in the exact same posture as the House Bill 480, correct?
I think it's
The
other way
amendments are on House Bill 480 to put it in the same posture as Senate Bill 286, which is the one that I just described. And I also forgot to mention that Senate Bill 286 passed the Senate 45-0.
Thank you.
Thanks. For those of you just arriving, we just adopted conforming amendments for the House Bill 480 and Senate Bill 286. That was the burial rights for military spouses. And we're ready to move the bill as amended. We have a motion and a second, so I'll call for the vote. All in favor, please say aye. Is anyone opposed to this? All right, thank you. It passes unanimously. Moving on to Senate Bill 910, and Lindsay.
So just to
please.
clarify, that vote will also be the vote for Senate Bill 286, which is favorable with no amendments.
Yes. Does everyone understand that? Everyone's good with that? Okay, let's move on to 910. Lindsay, remind us what it does.
This bill alters the definition of therapy horse under the Maryland Veteran Service Animal Program by removing the requirement that a stable be a premier accredited member center of the Professional Association of Therapeutic Horsemanship International to determine if a horse is appropriate for interactions with veterans. There are no amendments on this bill.
Okay. Anyone want to move on the bill?
Move the bill.
Second.
All right. Any discussion on Senate Bill 910? Delegate Johnson.
So thank you, Mr. Chairman. This will help expand the therapy centers, so we'll have more.
That was Senator Simoner's testimony, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes,
And
Delegate Hill.
I think it also allows the therapy horses to be used for a broader range of needs.
It increases the therapy horse's scope of practice,
Yes.
an easy scope of practice, Bill. Okay, I'll go ahead and call for a vote then. All in favor of Senate Bill 910, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
All right. I don't see any opposition. All right, good. That moves out of the subcommittee unanimously. The next bill, Lindsay, is Senate Bill 514.
This bill requires a county or municipality that operates a minority business enterprise program for county or municipal procurements that has a process for certifying MBEs for the program to accept as certified for the county or municipal program any person that has been certified by the Maryland Department of Transportation for the state's MBE program. There are no amendments on this bill and it passed the Senate 45-0.
Okay. Is anyone here to speak on this bill? Do I hear a motion on the bill?
Move the bill.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion now that the bill's been moved and seconded? Okay, seeing no discussion.
Just a quick question, if I could,
Yes.
just to make sure that I understand what this is doing, because I was listening, but not maybe 100%. Essentially, this means that if an MBE is certified by the state, then they are also certified in whatever the county or municipality's process is.
Yes.
Okay.
And just to clarify, the fiscal note noted that they weren't aware of any municipal MBE programs. And I did ask the Senate staff why that was added, like if there was a specific program that they were targeting, and they didn't know of any either. It's just if there's one out there. So there are county MBE programs that we know of, but I don't personally know of any municipal programs, but just that was raised in the fiscal note. And I thought I'd toss it out there for you.
Any further discussion? Any additional concerns with this bill before we call for a vote? Okay, seeing none. Delegate Alston, we are voting on Senate Bill 514, which is State Procurement Liquidated Damages Policies and Requirements. There are no amendments and little discussion about.
Sorry, that's not the title of this bill. This bill is Local Procurements Minority Business Enterprise Utilization Program Certification.
Where's this one then?
That's a bill being heard later today.
Oh, thank you. That's why it's in my stack. All right. Is everyone clear on what we're doing now that I've confused you all? Okay, on Senate Bill 514, all in favor, please say aye. Is anyone opposed to Senate Bill 514? That moves through subcommittee unanimously. And that concludes our work session agenda. So I will see all of you in the Health and Government Operations Committee at 1 o'clock. Thank you for coming. And that ends this work session.